Release him at once!
As you wish. After all, I did not come here for a fight.
So, there's been a rise in in violence against Asians in America for some reason. And I don't fucking understand it. Like, the racists usually go after, black people, right? Not that that's wrong, and not that I'm, trying to justify it or make light of it. But it's really weird that we're having this rise in violence, and I can't quantify it. It's tragic, and recently, 4 women were killed in a shooting at a spa and massage place. That's just downright horrible. Maybe this isn't the best place to talk about it, or the best way to talk about it. And again, I'm not trying to say, oh, we'll go back to black people, right? That's not what I'm saying. That violence towards anyone based on their skin is deplorable. I did almost have to punch a guy out for threatening me and my family, but, I've gladly punched him out and I'd have gladly put that guy in the ground and just forgot he ever existed, honestly. Whereas, based on the color of their skin, or the way someone talks, the way they walk, or the way they dress, is horrible. I mean, I don't get it. It's like, suddenly people are like, oh, well, these people aren't people anymore. This is just deplorable, honestly. To me, violence, and then look, so I guess the reason I'm making this video, though, because I don't have any ideas what is causing the violence, but I do have to stand up for what I know isn't causing the violence. And that would be movies, TV, and games. I think the fact that we don't have enough Asian representation in either of these categories is certainly a problem. But when you point to dehumanizing someone being based on, like, old movies, old TV shows, like Indiana Jones was mentioned, Family Guy was mentioned. Family Guy picks on everyone, and so when you pick out the one thing that Family Guy doesn't pick on, or when you pick out one instance of Family Guy picking on something, and then being like, it doesn't happen, they don't pick on anything else, that's just fucking wrong. And people will move the goalpost. People on Twitter just move the goalpost all the time. There's someone I think called Chew on Head. I don't fucking know who this chick is, but Twitter had a problem with her not following any black people. Solely because she didn't have any black people in her follows. Like, she's just not solely based on the color of their skin. Could it be that she just didn't find any of them funny? Or find any of them interesting? And then when it was found out that she had, she was following, 5 black guys, they started moving the goalposts around. They were like, well, it's not enough. Like, you also follow white people, and that's just wrong. Like, again, you move the goalpost. These people don't actually care about change. They don't care about progression as fucking a species. These people, they just want to start World War III and end the world in a nuclear holocaust. That's all they want. But then you have the news reporting on stuff like this too. In their instances, what I gathered, and yes, this violence is wrong, and I found good sources, but Good Morning America was just like, yeah, Asian people are not represented well. That's the reason the violence is occurring. You need to fix the problem, not pretend like something else is the problem. Like, who are you helping here? Who are you helping? What is the point of this video that I have just watched? That's like 10 minutes long. That just says we need more representation. What the fuck is the point of that? Like, what am I supposed to learn from? What am I supposed to learn from this? Like, the news. You're not supposed to just tell people what they already know. That's not the point of the news. If that's the point of the news, then I'm just gonna fucking stop watching it, man. Like, why would anyone want to watch the news if it's just shit they know? Yeah, I don't know that because there's only one Asian actor that I actually know by name, and I don't even know if I'm saying it right. But Glenn from The Walking Dead, Stephen Young, I think? Yoon? Hold on. Looks like Yoon, yeah, sorry if I butchered that. But the fact that he's the only one definitely means there's probably a problem, because I can name actors from anyone else. Or any gender, any race, anything. So there's not anything prevalent, and that's certainly a problem. Hopefully Marvel's release of Shang-Chi will change that. So yeah, there's a diversity problem, but that's always been there, and that's probably down to also just, they're called minorities for a reason. It's because there's a majority, and there's a minority. That's basic maths, right? But there's still an issue there. But see, I'm watching GMA, and they're talking about representation being the cause of all problems, and then I'm looking at, what was it? I was watching it earlier. Please don't end the video. They haven't ended the video yet, so when I'm recording this, fuck. Nope, we're still good. It doesn't like me recording audio from YouTube, so it stops. Not that I've tried to do that or anything, just it doesn't like it. NBC, not ABC. The video titled, "Is This Patriot Enough?" This guy gives a sort of an emotional speech and basically says that I'm just as important as everyone else, and yeah, obviously. I thought that really worked better, because now we're just building walls when the point of this is breaking them down. So yeah, I really thought that was fucking stupid. Like, that was a fucking hot take. There were comments like, why is anyone, like, disliking this video? They're racist! It's like, maybe because this is just olds. This isn't fucking news anymore. But it goes without saying, I played Doom 3 when I was like fucking 2. I've been playing with the shit out of Resident Evil, and while yes, I think it would be fucking radical to blow up corpses, I'm not gonna blow up a person, dead or alive. I think if zombies start walking the earth, then fuck it, like, they kind of have it coming, right? Like, fuck it. You walk, if I see you crawl out of a grave, I'm shooting you right there, alright? Fuck it. Zombies. But, like, I'm not gonna blow up any person if it doesn't pose a threat to me. Dead or alive, I'm not looking to just go to the graveyard and dig up some corpses and blow them up. But if they start fucking walking, that's when I bring out the nail bat. And I don't know, fucking a suicide vest for good measure. So, yeah, and then I play GTA. I love fucking robbing banks, and I really fucking love that torture scene in the game, right? But I would never want to cause any physical harm to anybody of that nature. The only time is, like, maybe if I'm just fucking pissed off beyond reason, but you'd have to fucking murder my entire family to get me to that point. And in which case, again, I gotta say, you have it coming, right? Let's be real here. If corpses start walking, or my family starts dying, all the rules that I've just mentioned go out the fucking window. I mean, what do you expect from me? Right? Tell me you'd be any different. So, maybe that's a bad example. But, yeah, I would never cause physical harm to someone. And I don't think video games turn you into a killer. Me and my dad were fucking talking, like, the kids from Columbine, they said, like, oh, well, we just played fucking Doom, which at the time was a bunch of fucking pixels and you couldn't look up or down. And, they were like, yeah, that taught us how to shoot a gun. And that's like, that'll give you some fucking idea, but there's no way you got anything on recoil or actually aiming the damn thing. Like, well, like, what the fuck? Explain. But, to further the, fuck, hold on. Yep, see, I knew that was the problem. There we go. I'm trying to log into my computer real quick. So, what is the fuck is going on with my shadow? My hair's fucked. Yeah, the video games, TV shows, movies, they did point to how, TV shows and movies, like, sexualize Asian women. And true, I think, like I said, there's no reason to assume all of this is caused by, maybe, I genuinely think more representation would help, but I don't think that just because they did, like, the Asian schoolgirl thing in Austin Powers, I don't think that's making people like, hey, get up on my dick, bro. There are, everybody has, some sort of prejudice. Mine is not, based on anyone's skin color, but I'm sure that's a thing that some reasonable people actually have. Not justified, probably, but, there's a game called Rival Schools, let's say, and after a certain event, this character started hating, not the people, but, like, the country of Japan. And I'm not saying that's justified, but there's a reason that I could believe and sympathize with, so very disagree with. But say there's certain events that shape our development. I don't think a TV show, movie, or video game would change the development of any reasonable person. I think, if I'm gonna be totally honest, that, I don't know how long it's not been recording. I thought I was recording, but I just got a really bad fucking Charlie horse. I'm gonna have to fucking hold it. Okay, I talked about my prejudices earlier, or I hinted at them. My prejudices are not with the way someone dresses, the way someone looks, the way the skin, their color of their hair, the color of their skin, the color of their eyes. Nothing like that. It's more so personality and overall demeanor. And, there's shit I just fucking despise that, I really should get over. I haven't said anything or done anything with these prejudices, mind you, because I can keep them in check, but I have trouble purging them entirely. There's a bitch at work, for instance, and she just thinks she runs shit. She was mouthing off our boss, which, there was a lot of noise, and he clearly couldn't hear her, because he kept trying to figure out what she was saying, but I wanted to slap the fuck out of her, dude. And so, I've seen people like her before, and so anytime I can just look at the way they stand when there's nothing going on, or the way that they sort of, in a fighting game you have an idle animation, Mario adjusts his hat, that kind of shit. When they're idling, I can just tell, like, oh, this bitch, right? And sometimes I'm wrong. There's actually, someone else that I was very wrong about. I just saw her at her worst day, but it definitely shaped my opinion of her at the time, I will say. But in general, that shit I just can't get past. I see someone idling the way that they idle, and I feel like I've seen that person 1,000 times, and that they've just wronged me 1,000 times. And so I just can't get past it, right? And then a bad attitude I obviously just can't deal with, but yeah, so there you go. Now, the problem does not lie in, because let's be honest here, I've seen, let's spill out my Reddit history completely. I don't use Reddit for anything other than porn. It's like all porn. So you could bet I've seen, tons of, man, if I spill my type right here, that's gonna really suck for me. But let's just say, I've seen tons and tons of Asians, tons and tons of my type, tons and tons of everyone. I mean, I'm not into dudes, but I've seen plenty of them. And honestly, that doesn't shape the way that I see anyone. Most of the porn is not even actually, it's from like movies and TV shows and, like, well, let's just say I watch a lot of stuff for the plot. So there you go. Like, it's not, so I've seen it all, man, and it doesn't change my demeanor, it doesn't change the way I view the world, it doesn't do any of that. It's just a momentary distraction from whatever is, like, the last 2 days, man. I mean, I haven't really had time to do anything, but the last 2 days have been really sucking, and I go to play a video game, and then something else happens. I told one of my, I have, like, there's, like, a chain of command, and it's really complicated, but essentially, I told who is essentially my boss, but not quite my boss. Like, definitely my boss, but not my boss. It's a complicated chain of command, like I said before. But I told my boss, I can't wait to get home. I'm gonna go play video games. Like, today really sucked. And, so, and I was like, the last few days have really sucked. I haven't gotten any time to myself or anything like that. I'm just gonna go play video games, gonna relax. And then she's just up in here like, do you want to come back later tonight? Like, and I was like, no, but I can. And she was like, does 5 work for you? I'm like, dude, it's 4:30. Wait, no. Can 6? Would 6 work for you? I can at least go get some food that way. And a coffee. And she's like, yeah, that works for me. So I was like, alright. So I came in. And yeah, it wasn't as bad the second time. But I'm just saying, I haven't even been able to play video games. I haven't been able to watch TV. I had family plans that I had to break off for that. And so this last few days have sucked. So I need whatever distraction I can get from what sucks in life. And so when you try to censor movies, censor video games, censor TV shows, that becomes a problem for me. I think the deal here with Asian representation is they just say, like, if I were an actor or actress or whatever, I would just ask, all right, what kind of stuff is this? There's some stuff I'm not willing to do, and I gotta know what we're doing in this production or whatever. That's how you do it, right? You see, make sure everyone's comfortable with everything they're doing, and if they're not, they're not. If they're not, you don't. You find someone else who's willing to do whatever. So, I mean, you gotta find, instead of policing, you just talk things out. I mean, like, dude, anytime this isn't, like, the same thing, but, so a government and let's say that the mob is, like, the government. If you do something, right, if video games start policing themselves in a very reasonable manner, like, if everything stays the way it is right now, that's fine. We have censorship, we have guidelines, you know what you're getting into when you play GTA 5, right? It says it on the box, says every wrong thing that's in the game right on the box. So you just don't fucking buy the game. That's how it works. But when you get the mob in here, and they're like, well, that's not cool, and they start policing it. Or when the government, or if you get the government in there, and they're like, it's not cool, so we're gonna fucking put a stop to it. The difference is, the mob, the only difference here, in this situation actually, is the mob, can pressure people into anything, and then, if that's what you want, that, you can't have it anymore. Whereas the problem is it's fine as is, they're just fucking retarded, right? But if you get the government involved, they can fucking mandate that shit. Like they're trying to do over and over again. The reason I'm making this video. And I don't think that should be allowed. If I want to make a movie, which I do want to make a movie, but I don't want to make this movie with a bunch of Asian stereotypes, I should be able to do that. I'm just saying. They have to be tasteful, though, right? I can't just be like, look, Asians are dumb, like that kind of thing. This video is going to have so many things that are taken out of context. That's going to be fucking fantastic for me. I have to be fucking reasonable, right? I'm not going to just do something super offensive. But if I need to... You know Punch-Out? Punch-Out uses stereotypes to inform the characters. Because there wasn't really a whole lot you could do back then. So it had to creatively work around its limitations by... Oh, so you don't know who this character is? Let's put a stereotype in here, right? It's in their quirks, it's in their, you know... there's this one dude with a turban and tigers. And I can't remember, actually can't remember what that one was about. But he had all these weird mystical powers. And I want to say... If I fucking say what I think it is and it's not that, I'm going to sound like a fucking racist. So I'm not even going to do it. But if I don't already... If you somehow think I'm a racist after this, you're taking it wrong. Like, you've just not been paying attention, let's be real. Or I'm miscommunicating, because I'm vouching for equal rights, I'm vouching for not being discriminated against, because I've been discriminated against. I know how that shit is. I fucking halfway think that that's the reason that it took me so long to find a job. I know that my disabilities were the only reason I got hired at Goodwill. I know that for a fucking fact. Because that didn't even last long. That was like a special program for special people. And then I know for a fact... Well, I don't know for a fact, but I have a feeling that the reason it took me so long to get hired is because no one wanted to fucking hire me. Except for the one place that I never applied to. And honestly... I don't know why I never applied to it, but once I did, I was fucking hired. I had to disclose my problems, though, and there was one incident I had, but, yeah, other than that, gonna be real here, and in school I always got called a fucking mutant freak. Well, specifically a mutant freak show. Something started by the teacher that quickly spread to the students. So I fucking know how discrimination feels. All right, don't even tell me I don't, because I'm fucking white. But because discrimination isn't just fucking based on the color of your skin, but some idiots on Twitter think it is. So the The moral of the story is, I'm not trying to get anyone to discriminate. But I think if you're going to use stereotypes, use them tastefully. Or you pull the South Park maneuver and do it in such a way that it is so not tasteful that it's funny. But that shouldn't be your opening joke, right? That shouldn't be your opening move. Maybe I'm thinking about this backwardsly, and I want to have an honest discussion with someone. I don't want someone to be calling me a fucking racist retard or something like that, but I want to have an honest discussion. If I'm fucking wrong, I'm fucking wrong, right? I'm not gonna get better by someone calling me a fucking idiot or a douche. But South Park, South Park recently has been getting canceled, and I don't know what the fuck that is. Cancel culture, not like actually canceled. But dude, before, South Park was fucking invincible. It was so fucking edgy that no one wanted to fucking touch it. Even cancel culture was afraid to get cut by that amount of edge. They're like, fuck. No one touched it. I swear, dude, I was always thinking, like, I was always looking for South Park controversies, and outside of little disputes behind the scenes, there was nothing. Not a one. Like, yeah, the chef actor, voice actor, left because of the Scientology shit, but outside of that, there was fucking nothing. I mean, fucking, dude, they have that fucking difficulty meter in The Fractured But Whole, which, nothing. Everyone thought that was funny as shit. I'm not saying cancel him now, because for some reason everyone's in a cancel mood, but that shit was fucking funny. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about, right? You can have your stereotypes, you can have your, you have to do it tastefully or so untastefully that it's funny. And if you need to do it in between, I guess you just need to find some way to communicate that that's not who you are. That's your sense of humor, but that's not who you are. I don't really know how you do that. I think with humor, nothing is off fucking limits. I think that should be the rule here. Yet, for some reason, there are boundaries that even I don't want to fucking touch. With a 10-foot fucking pole. But I think whoever wants to touch those boundaries should fucking try to break through them if they can. Humor is subjective, but what does cancel culture even fucking think is funny? Did they think that the Amogus meme is fucking funny? It wasn't funny when it first fucking rocked onto the scene, and it wasn't fucking funny now. I don't fucking understand. Like, what the fuck is Amogus? Cool, you just said Among Us wrong. I'm gonna fucking look it up right now because it's actually pissing me off. Amogus. Amogus. How do you spell Amogus? Dude, it's so fucking stupid, I can't even... Amogus, here we go. Know your meme. This is like such a tangent, I'm sorry guys. Amogus is a bastardized version of the name of the 2018 video game Among Us. In January 2021, the word gained popularity as a catchphrase used in ironic memes, often to replace dialogue in various cartoons, particularly those created by webcomic artist Stone Toss. Additionally, Amogus refers to the simplified drawing of a clue made from... So, yeah, the joke, I guess, is that it isn't funny.
Somewhere safe. I'm trying to rest.
No.
Oh
No,
my
Mary,
god, my
you are
initial
safe.
theory was right.
I remember
This
now.
thing that just says LGBT plus rights just has a
He's lost his
crewmate
twisted mind.
in
Again.
this Sandy dome, like Sandy from Sandy the
Come
Squirrel.
now, cousin.
And this dude smiling just says, Amogus. I was fucking right. Cancel culture, that's the kind of shit that they find funny. This isn't fucking funny. So, yeah, anyways, that's the kind of humor that they fucking want to put on the world. And I'm not saying discrimination is fucking acceptable at any rate. I've been on the other end of that. I know how it feels. I would never want to do that to someone else. But there's a right and a wrong way to go about this stuff, and let's be honest, them building up walls around think about it this way. So let's say Asian, or let's put race, a random person of a random race, into a square, and we build walls, and each person's like, oh, I'm gonna protect you, I'm gonna build a wall. I'm gonna protect you, I'm gonna build a wall. I'm gonna protect you, I build a wall. I'm gonna protect you, I build a wall. So now there's a square And all around the square, all on the exterior of the square, are a bunch of walls. Now, you're trapped in the square. So you just can't fucking touch it. You can't get anywhere near. You're just suffocating whatever you've put in the square because you think you're protecting it. There was a controversy about a singer named Sia, I think it was. They're making a movie or a music video or some shit. And they had someone who was autistic. And they did not cast someone who was autistic. It seemed like everyone on Twitter was like, this is the fucking worst. I know some autistic people, and they do not approve. I was like, bitch, you don't know me. Get the fuck up off my dick. Stop pretending to know people like me. It made no sense that everyone was offended, saying that they were offended for their friends. No, bitch, you're just stupid and you want your 5 seconds of fame. That's what this is. Your 5 seconds of fame. But at what cost? Fortunately, I don't think there was a cost for that instance, but... And I don't think there will be a price for this instance either, but... What about the next? Or the next? Or the next? Or the next? It keeps going, and eventually... No matter the track record, no matter how far we've come, the tables will turn eventually, and the right side... The side that's in the right isn't always the side that wins. So it's a never-ending battle, or it's a never-ending war, I should say, and you can't win every battle. So what comes next, guys? I mean, there's a right and a wrong way to go about this, and like I said before, this is the wrong way. If you've actually... I can't wait to see the comments in this video, because they're going to take everything out of context. They're going to hold every single thing I say in a bubble. And anytime there's a pause, they'll just pretend like what came before didn't exist. Literally what I said was, I don't want any discrimination. Yet someone's going to find a way to say fucking, this guy advocates for discrimination. It's not what I said. Not even a little bit. So yeah, like I said, I'm willing to have an open conversation with anyone about this topic. But, I'm not gonna tolerate someone just saying, "Oh, you're a bitch." Those comments will be removed, because I'm not even gonna have them. I'm not trying to censor anyone. But I'm willing to have a conversation. If you fucking... I actually said something that does not help my case, so I'm cutting that out. Beep. We're back. So yeah, I'm not gonna deal with people just blindly saying something and they're not paying attention. You idiots have nothing. I don't want you here. So, anyways, I'm open to full-on conversations. But you can miss me with that shit. Yeah. There's no easy way to end this video. This is just one of those ones that has no end. So, thank you guys for watching and staying with me. I'm gonna have to end it at some point, and right now I just feel like I'm gonna keep going, so bye. So let's get something straight here. This is about violent video games once again. I'm gonna have to label it as number 4, but really this is number 2 because I put numbers 1, 2, and 3 all into one video. So yeah, let's get something straight here. There is no world where violent video games cause actual violence. Because let's be real here. There's no difference in me playing a video game where I chop someone's fucking ghibli bits into tinier, ghiblier bits. And there's not a difference between that and me fantasizing how to kill somebody in my mind. Because there's this thing, there are these negative thoughts or dark thoughts that people have, like, you know, wanting to shit on your coworker's desk, wanting to shit on your boss's, shit in your boss's coffee, or just do, you know, that thing where you open up someone's laptop, shit in it, and then you squish it down. There's a lot of shit going on there, right? There's a lot of shit to unpack there. But basically, that's the same thing as if I were to, you know, because you never do it, right? I was watching something, and this guy was like, I can't remember what I was watching or who it was, but this guy's like, it's like, well, that's no different than me fantasizing how to kill my 4th grade teacher in 5,000 different ways. And let's be real, no one ever does that. Well, some people do that. But just because you have a dark thought pop into your head or you're playing a dark game, it's not going to take control over you. It probably makes people feel better thinking that we can just blame everything on, well, the devil made me do it. I didn't actually do that. It was the devil coming out. It doesn't work that way. Alright? You can't... I know Wonder Woman kind of undercuts this, but there's a line in that movie where Steve Trevor says, men just fight. You can't just stop a big bad monster and all the fighting's over. I'm gonna find the real quote later, but I'll use that quote in my essay, for instance, but which I'm no closer to making, by the way. Sorry about that. Which is why I felt the need to make this. But there's no... You can't stop a big bad monster and just expect everything to go away. Men were created for war. That's it. We had to fight and kill our animals and our friends. Fight and kill animals and bugs just to survive. We eat that, we last another day, right? We kill this, we survive another day. And unfortunately, the emotions that came from that, the emotions that help us survive, the emotions that, you know, the emotions and instincts that came with how we had to survive, carries over sometimes. Sometimes man goes too far. Sometimes man kills. It's just how it is. I'm not justifying it. It's a horrible and heinous thing for one man to kill another. But it happens. Sometimes there's no choice, and sometimes some people go too far and act like animals, which is why we lock them up like animals. You're not gonna stop all of that by getting rid of video games. So, these politicians are either stupid enough where they think they can create world peace by getting rid of video games, or stupid enough to think the rest of us are stupid and will just believe them. That's just how it is. There's nothing else to it. It doesn't work that way. I mean, you know what? If getting rid of video games caused world peace, go for it. It's not going to. It's not going to. It's not going to make men any less deranged. It's not going to help you sleep at night. It's not going to do anything. So yeah, if getting rid of video games helps you sleep at night, go choke on a fat dick. You're not getting your sleep. I have things in my life, and they help me, and those games help me unwind. I'm not gonna sacrifice, you know, all of that so you get some more sleep. Suck a fat dick and get out of and get out of the political. Get out of any sort of political field you're trying to go in. My essay will be more thought out than this video, naturally. And hopefully around 42 minutes long. But we'll see. Because I'm going to go in depth quoting sources, quoting all these studies, and avoiding the fuck out of the APA since they just straight up fucking lied about their findings.
I'm told this is the most secure room in the mansion. I'd say you'll be safer in here.
But that would be a lie. Even if we must pry them from your dead hands.
On second thought, perhaps an alliance is called for after all.
A brilliant observation, Liebchen. Danke.
Huh? Proxima! Ah! Once you have fallen, your insignificant planet shall follow! Ah!
No. Save that moment of glory for our master.
My beloved!
I am told that AIM only worships science. But if any of you believe in the goddess, now would be the time to start praying.
AIM forces are closing in. If you're hoping to stop MODOK, you need to go now. I mean it! In there, I'm just a liability. Weapon AIM can use against you. Let me buy you the time to finish the mission I couldn't. Don't worry about me. I've taken down the Red Skull. A few guys in beekeeper suits should be no problem.
The knowledge found here will grant me access to an endless supply of souls, on which my stone may feast. But first,
from this day forth, he reigns supreme!
Something only I can give it.
You've got it all wrong, son.
Ah, but you were right all along, my friends. I am not my father. I am something far better!
This is not how it ends.
For once you are correct, Father. You may have dreamed of oblivion, but madness clouded your vision. Thankfully, I can see what you couldn't.